Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, the ceasefire is dead. President Rodrigo Duterte is shutting the door on any truce with communist rebels for the rest of his term. Valenzuela City suspends the business permit of NLEX Corporation after problems in its RFID system caused heavy traffic and long lines. And a group is urging the Transportation Department to take responsibility for the RFID mess caused by the agency's order for cashless transactions. Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation Chief Communications Officer Romulo Junji Kimbo and Infrawatch PH convener Terry Ridon join us live. No more ceasefire with communist rebels, not just this Christmas, but for the rest of the president's term. The chief executive says this decision came about as peace talks broke down. President Duterte says he's against the communist idea of a coalition government, which he says involves the sharing of powers between the communist group and the government. Here's the president in his own words.
No stupid president will allow it. He will get impeached. He will get impeached by... You are not supposed to share that power. I cannot compromise anything in this government. It's either I will be impeached or the military and the police will shoot me. Mamili lang ako sa dalawa dyan. Ipapasubo mo ang Republic of the Philippines. Papatayin ka talaga. Because you are a traitor of your country.
Valenzuela City Mayor Rex Gatchalian suspends the business permit of NLEX Corporation. He earlier rejected the plea of NLEX Corporation to give them 15 days to address problems in their system. Signages saying no business permit, no toll collection have been put up in toll plazas in the city. Gatchalian says collections can resume at the toll plazas if NLEX submits clear plans on how to, once and for all, fix the RFID mess. But an infrastructure-oriented think tank says the entire RFID mess has been due to the ill-advised rush of the Transportation Department to enact cashless transactions. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Infrawatch PH convener and former House Transportation Committee member Terry Ridon. Terry, welcome to the source and thank you so much for your time.
Good morning, Pinky. Thank you for having me.
Mayor Rex Gatchalian is actually blaming the management of NLEX Corporation and the Toll Regulatory Board for the traffic that they endured all around, around the area of Valenzuela. But you were saying that no, it has to be, you're pinning the blame on the DOTr. Tell us why.
Well, the buck stops basically with the DOTr order of August 2020. DOTr basically gave the public, the toll operators, 2 months to basically roll out this entire cashless tolling system. And for context, in New York State, how long did they have? 3 years of planning. So basically, if there is anyone to be blamed for this mess, for the difficulty in installing RFIDs day in and day out, for the difficulty in finding a technological solution, it is not the toll operators. It is basically the Department of Transportation. So basically, they have to be responsible for this. At the very least, acknowledge that this has been an ill-advised rush towards going into contactless payments without having a comprehensive plan, without a comprehensive study on how to implement it in the best manner possible.
The biggest problem, of course, was the long line. Some would even say, yung ilan kasi sa atin, medyo late na. But if it was told in August, planned in August, and started in August, and then it ended in December, that leaves about 3 months for all of us to actually have this RFID. True, I did read your press release, and it did say that in New York, this cashless transaction gave a time frame of 3 years. And here we are in the Philippines giving us a 3-month period to be able to install this RFID.
Yeah, so I just wanted to give the public a context and an idea of the magnitude of preparations that is needed basically to have a transition from a mix of cash and cashless towards a fully cashless system. So, and I think the status today bears us out. Day in and day out, there had been problems on RFID installations, and the system basically cannot take yung sinasabi nga ho ng mga kaibigan ho natin, yung 100 vehicles per day lang ho yung kaya ho nilang i-install na mga RFIDs doon po sa mga installation centers. And all of these things, ito pong technical glitches, basically would show us na yung pong sa totoo lang, it's not 3 months eh. It was originally 2 months because end of October, start of November, gusto na ho nila ikasayan. They did an extension to December. Today, they're doing an extension again to January. Right. So, and most importantly, the House is already, House Speaker, Lord Velasco, is basically calling for a further extension up until the end of March, I think. No? So, I think that would show basically na talaga meron pong problema on how this has been rolled out. And it would be a bit unfair to blame the public. Sinasabi kasi nila, binigyan na kayo ng palugit. Sinasabi nila, yung toll operators, binigyan na rin kayo ng palugit, problema niya na yan. And I would say na it was basically the DOTr's idea. Alam po niya, we've scoured through all of the regulations. Noong August lang ho talaga nila naisip na magkaroon po ng contactless tracing. Tapos gusto ho nila ipilit sa publiko, ipilit sa toll operators, ito pong bagay na ito.
But let's get your idea on this. You're not against a cashless transaction.
Yeah, wala pong problema because basically, going into the idea of they call it cashless tolling in New York. You know? So basically, you are talking here about better environmental outcomes. You're basically talking about better operational outcomes here. You know? Pero
all right, Terry. We are going to reconnect with Terry Ridon, convener of Infrawatch PH, because nag-freeze yung video ni Terry. So I was asking him if he's against this cashless transaction. Is he back?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, sorry. Hi.
Terry, sorry, we
Pinky,
lost
sorry.
you there. Can you repeat the last possibly 30 seconds of what you were saying? Sabi mo nga, you're not against cashless transaction.
Walang problema sa cashless tolling. Ano? They call it cashless tolling in New York State. But the point here is, sobrang linaw ho ng plano na parang doon, if you don't have an RFID, we will not fine you. We will just take a picture of your plate, then send the bill to your house, send the bill to where the vehicle is registered. Ano? Pero dito sa Pilipinas, pagka wala kang RFID, wala kang choice. We will fine you there and there. Pagka nagpumasok ka doon sa tolling system na wala kang kahit ano. So, yan nga ho yung what we had been saying. This has been a unilateral act of the Department of Transportation. Wala hong usapan man lang. Ano nga pagtingin ng publiko, ano yung pwedeng magawa. Meron pa bang technological glitches today na hindi pa ho naabot ng ating toll operators? Yung po bang interoperability, which is basically the concern of many of the congressmen at the moment, hindi pa rin ho natin nagagawa. So the question has been, why are we rushing this on the pretext of what? Of the COVID-19 crisis? Wala naman ho yan doon sa mga protocols doon po sa ibang mga lugar. Ano? I think what is important for COVID-19 is social distancing and to follow the protocols. Ano? So kung napaka-expensive and napaka-problematic naman hong solution po ito. Kung yan lang ho yung gagawin ho nating dahilan kung bakit ho tayo nag-cashless tolling sa Pilipinas.
What would you say though, apart from the DOTr, meron ho bang naging pagkukulang, for example, ang TRB or the NLEX Corporation? I ask this because I remember speaking to Mayor Rex Gatchalian and sabi niya, 7 taon na daw siyang may RFID. So sabi niya, in that 7 years, at some point, dapat na paghandaan itong hindi sira o nahihirapang basahin yung mga RFID at ng mga yung mga RFID ng mga sasakyan.
Oh, pero syempre, with due respect to Mayor Rex, syempre he has all the power to cancel the business permits. Pero I would say na ultimately, is it really the solution to the problem? Kasi if the question is to a problem on technology, I don't think canceling the business permit is the best solution towards this, no? Talagang the question is, ano bang dapat ang ginagawa? Ano ba yung problema? Ayusin ninyo, hindi ba? So parang I don't think it benefits anyone pagka ito po yung initiative po na gagawin po natin. But be that as it may, and NLEX will probably do what it needs to do, no, to fix this problem. The question has been, well, yung TRB kasi syempre, this is an attached agency of the Department of Transportation. The question has always been, ang tagal na palang may problema ng RFID bakit pinipilit pa ho ninyo sa publiko ito pong bagay nito, glitch naman po pala ng glitch. So all of these questions will basically go back squarely on the doorsteps of the Department of Transportation of our regulatory agencies like the TRB.
What would be a good time frame, you think, for all of us to be able to have enough time na magpakabit nitong RFID and possibly also for the toll operators not to have, technological problems regarding this?
Well, firstly, there has to be a little bit of acknowledgement naman po from the part of government na medyo nagmadali ho tayo rito na kailangan natin pag-isipan ulit at mag-usap-usap tayong ulit lahat. Lahat po ng involved interested parties dito po sa usapin po na ito. I think yung binabanggit ho ng House na around March dapat iusog po yung extension. Dapat pag-aralan ho natin yan. Kasi we had seen the last few times extend na extend. What does it say? Ibig sabihin, talagang hindi ho handa lahat. Ayaw naman ho natin na parang sasabihin lang ho ng DOTr, alam nyo, hindi na namin problema yan. Pagka hindi kayo nakapila, wala kayo RFID, hindi na namin problema yan. Hindi kayo sumunod. Sasabihin nila sa toll operators, hindi nyo inayos yung technological problems nyo, hindi na namin problema yan, bahala na kayo pagka sinuspindi ho yung prangkisa ho ninyo. That is not how government should be run. Government should be based on leadership. This is a question of leadership. So I think before we even talk about further extensions, at the very least, the DOTr should acknowledge na talagang baka medyo nagka-problema tayo dito, boss. Baka kailangan ayusin muna at pag-usapan ng lahat.
So what is the DOTr supposed to do? What is the suggestion coming from you to acknowledge that this was rushed, number one? And what's the second one, to extend the deadline until when?
Well, I think the proposal of the House is basically workable. So up until the end of March, hopefully the interoperability question has already been resolved. Hopefully the technological glitches, not just from NLEX, but also from SMC, from Skyway, has already been resolved. Yan naman ho yung basic matters po na dapat na-resolve. And thirdly, binabanggit ho ng mga tech experts yung pong pwedeng wala na talaga hong cashless. Pwedeng wala ng cash, pero pwede hong pag-aralan yung QR payments. Basically, ito po yung mga payment systems na ginagamit na po ng publiko in all of its transactions during the coronavirus crisis. So, all of these things dapat pag-aralan. Baka naman pwede hong meron pang leeway towards this. Kasi we have occasional users of tollways, yung mga maghahatid sa airport, yung pupuntang Tagaytay, yung pupuntang Clark. What is the basic reason for them to have an RFID? Kung pwede naman ho sila magbayad through QR codes, through our payment system. So, and wala hong cash yan. This is basically also a cashless transaction. So, yan ho, pag-aralan ho nila kung paano ho pwedeng gawin yan in both of our toll roads.
Infrawatch PH Convenor Terry Ridon, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Pinky. Good morning.
And coming up, we'll be speaking to the Chief Communications Officer of Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation live. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned.